when a woman is sexualized, people lose their fucking mind. But when people like Kratos exist, nobody gives a fuck.
I don't feel like that's the same though.
Oh.
Because Kratos is like a very unrealistic guy, right? Like he's like a big guy, super muscular, shirtless. There's also girls that are like very unrealistic, like big titties, like, I don't know, like Bayonetta, for example.
How is Bayonetta unrealistic?
I mean, Kratos, there's people that look like Kratos too.
Yeah, of course.
But what people don't like for women is like when a game will make it so their titties are like doing this shit and stuff. Like, there's not really an equivalent like that for guys, you know? Like, it's not like, I think it's like, some people are like, hey, this is like weird, but most people aren't like gonna like boycott games over it.
Okay,
you know?
so
I think it's great.
So,
I mean,
okay,
I don't care, but I get why for some people it's like that kind of weird.
Some people don't. I think this is the way that the morality works. Just so you understand, and like I don't know if you'll agree with this or not, but I think that the reason why it happens is because people are okay with sexualization that goes for men and women, but people don't like sexualization for just women. Now, for me, I think that's great, but obviously, that's, I think, what the difference is and the distinction is in their minds.
Oh, I know who this is. Yeah, she streams old school RuneScape. Do you guys think I didn't know this? Of course you do. Yeah, I mean, I spend a lot of time on Twitch and, you know, I keep up with things and I do a lot of research. And, you know, it's like market research, right? It just makes sense. Is she gonna say anything? No, didn't say anything at all. What's this here? This is ridiculous.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Because if
just
you
like
think about
the demographic, because like
yeah,
for like most guys and then even like some girls to that, it's like, okay, it's like not real. It's a character. It's like artistic in a way.
Yeah.
I mean, even if it's like titties flapping, it's like, you know, meant to like be visually attractive and like that's it. But then for some people, they see that and they're like, I don't like that. That's like a representation of like what I am, and people are just like viewing it in like a gross way. Like, especially for people that aren't gamers, I think just to them it's kind of confusing because they don't really get it, you know?
Well, that's the problem, isn't it? It's the fact that people that aren't gamers come into the gamer space, they try to tell them what they can and they can't like, and then they get mad whenever people get mad at them.
Like, I've seen chicks with massive fucking titties. Like, if they were to fight the same way.
I don't think people
Yeah.
don't like girls with big boobs though.
But I was saying, like, when you say like they're flopping around, they would do that. The titties would flop around.
I saw the Cinder clip.
They don't be moving like in some of those games.
Yeah, you saw Cinder's boobs.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a VTuber called Cinder. Super sweet, super nice. And they were saying that her, you know, boobs on her model were unrealistic. So she recorded the video of
her
herself.
real boobs.
Well, no, she was on the
Exact
stage somewhere and she like walked across the stage and obviously they were bouncing a lot and everybody was like, oh my God, real anime physics.
Yeah.
Yeah, people loved it.
But I think the only reason why, because women's vaginas aren't sexualized in video games. You'll see like an outline. Holy fuck.
Well, you don't see dicks sexualized either, to be fair.
Exactly, 100%. And I think that's just because they quite literally cannot do that.
They can't do it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like, to me, if you were to put it one by one, I feel like a dude being shirtless is the same as a woman having big old boobs bounced around in the bra.
I think it's about the same thing. And
I think it's about the same.
I think if anybody is getting mad about it, they just need to shut the fuck up.
I agree.
Or just don't play the game, right? Like that's the way that I look at it. Like there's games and like shows that I think are weird and I just don't watch them. That's it. Problem
I mean,
solved.
there is more like, there's more details to it because I genuinely think like the average person, like Twitter isn't a good representation of, but the average person is like pretty reasonable, right?
Sure, absolutely.
And I think like part of it with like the girls like being uncomfortable with like how other girls are portrayed in games is because like of how women treat men and how men treat women that they find attractive. Like first, like a girl probably isn't going to be like jacking off to a dude they find hot.
I feel like they would.
So,
I think women are more horny than men.
Based on what?
Based on the women that I know.
Well,
I think that there's obviously going to be girls that like, you know, they think that these guys are attractive. I feel like that's common sense, of course, right? I don't see the problem. If you're a dude and you want to make a game with girls in bikinis for other dudes that seems fine to me,
Absolutely.
right? And it's like, if people don't want to play that, then that's the way it is. It's like with a lot of hot tub streams, I bet if you looked at the gender demographics there, it's a lot of guys.
Yeah.